your level of concern for the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-1. You know what it's going to be like in Philadelphia this week, in the short week before the Giants game, coming off that loss to the Broncos. What do you have for
relatively high? I mean, like, I guess define concern like.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the Chiefs. You know what the standard is with these teams.
Am I shocked here? No, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked with the Chiefs. I'm not shocked with the Eagles. Like, both teams are defending Super Bowl runs, where the Chiefs were in the big dance and the Eagles won it last year. And, I always talk about like 2018, we started 4-6 after our 2017 season. It's a hard thing to do. I think coming into the season, I had concerns about the offensive line, as crazy as that sounds, not the tackles. But the interior, the health of Cam Jurgens, the health of Landon Dickerson, the replacing of Mekhi Becton, who everybody says, well, he's just a part of the machine. He wasn't anything special. Like we made Mekhi Becton. No, that's not the case. Mekhi Becton's a good football player, and he happened to be playing on a great unit that he made better. And you can see the issues they've had running the football. I think the last couple weeks, we've seen in the second half of games, I thought Todd Bowles did a great job of mixing in some simulated pressures, Rich, which would be, when it looks like a blitz to the naked eye, but you're dropping a defensive lineman out and adding a rusher off the ball. And so it's just another way to kind of trick the quarterback's eyes. And we saw this week, there was kind of a repetition of that theme and more zone played behind everything in the second half, and Jalen had a lot of trouble with it. And you've got two guys outside who are not getting the ball enough. One of them is making a bigger deal about it, and you got your all-world running back who sitting in the backfield saying it doesn't really matter who gets the ball. It's about winning football games, and I think that's got to be the attitude. I think it is going to be uphill for this offense for most of the year, like especially if you don't have a dynamic play caller, and Kevin Patullo hasn't proven to be that thus far. I think Jalen's a tremendous player, but like most quarterbacks, the scheme can elevate him or make him look worse than he is. And I think what you see is a lot of kind of oscillating between those two extremes, because this guy has had to learn a bunch of new systems from new coordinators over his young career. And so, the defense, Vic Fangio, he keeps the floor high. I think he does a great job. And when you hit on two of, those corners that you did last year in the draft, you're always going to look good. But coming into the season, we're worried about pass rush. On the edges, they have had a hard time getting home. And then we worry about that third corner. And, 2 weeks ago, they played Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Grizzard, he targets, I think, Quignon and Cooper 18 times. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, if I'm a Bucs fan, like, what are we doing? Keely Ringo's out there. Sean Payton wasn't going to make that same mistake. And so early and often they went there. And I just think the Eagles are more human this year, and that's okay. Like most teams in the NFL, every year it's not going to be like 2024 Eagles. Like 2024 Eagles, one of the best teams this century, in my opinion. So it's not going to be like that every year. And so am I concerned about them? Sure. Like, are they a playoff team? Absolutely. Is it a foregone conclusion they represent the NFC in the Super Bowl? If you're an Eagles fan and you think you just deserve that because we were there last year, the first 5 weeks are an indication that, it's really hard to be that team last year. It's not going to be that way every year. So what do I think they need to do? I think when the Dolphins let Mike McDaniel go, they need to call Mike McDaniel and say, hey, you want to come up here and sit in our offensive meeting rooms and tell us how the hell we figured this thing out? And I think maybe you got to get creative, turn to things like RPOs more. We saw that in the game last week. People are saying, where's the run game? Maybe there's other ways to get to it. But they have to play better, because this, while you're 4-1, is not going to land you in the Super Bowl. You have to win 3-4 games in a row to play in the Super Bowl, and the consistency has been a killer.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.